It's your boy Obeline today. I'm gonna do yet another My Hero What If. This is what if Deku was the reincarnation of pain. So let's get into it. Where we last left off on this what if is with Deku actually pretty much getting to UA and being a spy. So yeah, let's get into the story. As pretty much Deku is in the class sitting with the other students, Aizawa would basically be talking about the assignments that they're gonna do later on in the day, and he would get to hero versus villains. As Aizawa was talking, they would hear heavy footsteps running around. As Naruto would be alerted from this a lot earlier, just due to him having the Rinnegan and his sensory abilities. As All Might pretty much comes through the door, and yeah, everybody cheering because it's All Might, and yeah, All Might pretty much say that I'm gonna be the teacher for the hero versus villains, and everybody start cheering even more. So yeah, time skipping to where I'll say Deku and Momo. So we'll switch it up. Deku and Momo are in the same group. So it's Deku and Momo versus Todoroki and Bakugo. So yeah, they pretty much start the match, and I guess I guess Pain and Momo, they would pretty much walk up the stairs, and as they're pretty much doing this, Ice would basically start going everywhere because Todoroki using his ice quirk to try to capture them while in his ice. As Momo and Deku do get captured, but Deku break free using chakra in his feet, and he would basically just touch Momo, so she has this temporary, she has a little bit of chakra. So now, it pretty much goes to her feet. So the ice starts to break, and yeah, she's moving faster. So they're getting up there a lot faster. As when Bakugo, explodes through the wall, they're already, 2 floors above him. As he's like, how is this possible? As Bakugo is basically, flying up with his explosions, thinking that he can become higher. As Bakugo is just looking down, seeing how fast they're going, and seeing that they're getting closer and closer every second. As Bakugo, gets to the tippity top, and he actually hits himself on the ceiling because he was going up too high. As Bakugo, pretty much, he wouldn't really be hurt by it, but it would just be confusion. It would just be confusion. As Bakugo pretty much looks up and he says, "Oh, it was the ceiling." So he kind of gets up onto the staircase as he's ready to charge the explosion, and for Deku and Momo to get hit by it when they come up. They just zoom straight past him, and Bakugo just falls on the floor with pretty much with the capture tape on him. As they would get to the 5th floor, Deku would basically use Banjo Tenin as pretty much pulling Ida towards him. As Ida would fly towards him, Deku would grab his neck and slam into the ground. As Momo would run in and touch the bomb. As they would pretty much get the easiest win of all time in just under a couple of minutes. As that's pretty cool. So yeah, the other matches would happen. Deku and the rest of the class would watch him. Bakugo's still salty, but not Ida, but Todoroki got bodied like that. I don't know why I said Ida. I said that by accident, but yeah, he got bodied like that. Yeah, so pretty much after that, they'll just do regular school shit, and they'll go home. I'll say days later, the UA, the USJ would actually, pretty much be brought up. Aizawa would talk about it and say how they're going there in about 5 days. Time skip after 5 days of regular work and more hero training. They're to be going on this rescue training for the USJ. So let's get into that. As they all pile up on the bus and talk about quirks and multiples or things like that, then, they would eventually get to Deku, as Deku would explain how he has this energy in his body, and he can move it around to different body parts to give him different types of powers. As he would explain it, and that's that for now. As they all enter, then, they're pretty much getting, lectured by, 13, pretty much telling them that, quirks can be very dangerous, and it depends on how you use them, and yeah, make sure you kind of use your quirk in a different way. Say if you are fighting somebody as strong as Armor, you could use, full out, because if you don't believe that you can win, you have to go full out. But if you're fighting somebody that's on a lower level than you, just put yourself slightly higher, or just limit your power slightly higher, and you can just beat them. So you don't do the most damage, because you don't want to just be using full power on every person and you just kill people. And people would understand, but in the middle of the sentence they would be cut off by a portal pretty much opening and sending other kids towards different places. As Deku would not be caught in the portal because Rinnegan gives you sensory abilities, so it's kind of like a little spider sense thing. You just know it was about to happen, so he just kind of dodges out the way, and him and 13 and Aizawa all start to begin to fight the 200 other villains. Him and Aizawa are easily taking them out. Matter of fact, Aizawa just erased people's quirks, and Deku just used Shinra Tensei and other multiple moves that has to do with the Rinnegan, and he can even use a couple of other jutsu. You can comment down below, just make up a jutsu or just give him a jutsu that you think would be good for Deku to have in this what if. So yeah, you can do that if you want. And yeah. Do you think we should have like a Rinnegan ability? Because you know how the Mangekyo Sharingan has a Mangekyo ability? You think you should have like a personalized, Rinnegan ability? Because that would be cool. But it is what it is. But they're pretty much bodying people, doing some hand-to-hand combat, flipping over people. Naruto is basically, not Naruto, but Pain, or Deku, whatever the fuck. He's basically flipping over people, and literally, he's not flipping over people, by doing it with them. No, he's pretty much just, they throw a punch, he just flips right over them, and he just hits them in their chakra points. Yes, people still have chakra points, but they just can't use chakra, because, it's kind of blocked. It's just blocked. And chakra has become blocked because, people, I'll say it kind of gets lost in genetics because people keep on producing more people, so it just kind of everybody kind of got chakra, but yeah, no one actually has any control of it. So if you could see chakra of a Kake Genkai, you would probably see a whole bunch of chakra just leaking out of people, but it really wouldn't matter because that's not their life source. And this what if, so it's just chakra is just chakra at this point. It just does nothing but what chakra would do, with no drawback. Only you losing enough chakra to not be able to use it. So yeah, that's all it really is. It just kind of evolved, it just kind of de-evolved into quirks, just to become one singular thing, and it kind of get passed down to generation to generation. I'll say that too. But basically, he has the full version of what quirks used to be. So yeah. That's what Chakra would be. So he would have a couple of jutsu, like Shadow Clone Jutsu. And you can pick whatever the fuck jutsu you want. So yeah, you can even make your own jutsu. And yeah. I'm just gonna say, comment down below Kakai Genkai for Deku, because that's the what if I'm gonna do for tomorrow. What if Deku had a Kakai Genkai or a Dojutsu? Something like the Sharingan or the Byakugan, just like a mixture of something I thought of, and the Sharingan and Byakugan probably. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that just yet. So let me get back to the story. They're pretty much like dodging people, just bobbing, weaving, ducking, just fucking people up. Like he can basically shoot missiles out of their hands. No matter of fact, he basically summons a bird, and it's just picking off people. It's just taking like 10 people in its beak, and it's just flying them out of the USJ and dropping them from the sky. As it's just picking up 10 people. It's just picking up 10 people, and this bird's fast, so it's just fucking zooming by. And even Aizawa fucking like, damn, this bird is just taking out everybody. As no good 5 minutes of that, there's like 9 to 8 people there, and one of them just surrender as Aizawa pretty much erases their quirk, and Deku just I don't know what he would do, but I'll say that Aizawa would go to fight as Shigaraki would release the Nomu. And the Nomu would basically kick Aizawa in the head and keep on going after him. Deku seeing that, he would just say, okay, I'll handle those people. I'll handle these people, then I'll go over to, Aizawa's aid. As, he pretty much just, has a cell. He pretty much takes a cell from his pocket and instead of how this is a personal cell that he made himself, and his cell pretty much works like it goes around in a circle, which they were standing in a position where they can all be in one circle. So Deku pretty much places it on the ground where they are, and they pretty much cannot move from that circle as the cells there, and they get sealed away, and they just don't exist in this My Hero world. They're just sealed away. As all Deku does, he takes the sealing and he rips it forever, pretty much making them not being able to never come back. They're never coming back. As he pretty much send 9 Shadow Clones over to help Aizawa, and like 20 more Shadow Clones to help other students fight off other villains like the Low Tiers. As I almost said Ambu, but the Nomu is basically beating on Aizawa, but the clones are taking hits for him as Aizawa is pretty much trying to crawl away. As there's no more clones over there, so yeah, Naruto would have to go take a hit. I'll say that he just kind of takes I'll say that he takes a sword from somebody who had a curation quirk, but he can only create weapons, and he can only do it once a day, so he could just created a sword, and he pretty much just grabs it from out the ground as he pretty much tries to use it to block the punch of the Nomu, as the Nomu pretty much breaks right through the sword. As Deku just, oh shit, as pretty much the sword breaks and he gets punched through the chest, like through the fucking chest. When he gets punched, he lands into a fucking crater in the wall. As Deku knows that this nigga really just broke his spine, his shoulder, his chest plate, his ribs. Like, he's all fucked up. So he's over here coughing up blood. He's barely even moving. And the only thing he can think of as he's crawling to Aizawa, as Aizawa's wondering what this kid is trying to do, as he would make a hand, or I don't know if you have to do a hand sign to summon the King of Hell, but I'll say that he just summons the King of Hell. as he pretty much grabs Aizawa's arm and he just pulls him towards him with the only arm that's not broken. And Naruto is strong enough for it to happen pretty quickly, as as he's being healed, and so would Aizawa. They would both come out as the Nomu would try to crush the King of Hell, as it would just disappear in the smoke, as it would just throw a blind hit, as Naruto would think, okay, I think I know what to do. As Naruto would basically make 100 shadow clones. 50 of them would go to Shigaraki, and 50 of them would just go fight the Nomu. As the plan is to basically have the Nomu have to pick to two different things. For him to fight, him and Aizawa and the clones, or him to protect, Shigaraki and, against the clones. As that's one of his first orders. So he's midway of going, to help Shigaraki, but he looks back and sees, so since he doesn't have a brain of himself, he can't really make a decision. So he's just standing there looking back and forth, as the shadow clones are not. They really don't have to do anything. The other shadow clones are just beating, Shigaraki up, as Kirigiri knows that this is not really working. But, Deku, he has something especially for this Nomu, because he's hating it right now. He broke his spine, his back, his ribs, all this shit. So he pretty much shoots 9 missiles from his arms, and he just obliterates the brain of the Nomu, as Shigaraki and Kirigiri escape, and so do the other students. They pretty much escape from the places they're kind of portals into, and everything is handled, as he blown the Nomu to such little bits that you wouldn't even know that it existed. As All Might would come through the door, as he would basically almost see Deku passing out. Because the only reason why Deku is pretty much kind of getting bodied by this Nomu is because he's holding back. Because having Aizawa with him, using the full power of Shinra Tensei, could probably blow almost the whole building up. And he's not trying to have technical difficulties and fucking collateral damage. He's just trying to kill the people, or not really kill the people, but hurt the people who need to be hurt and save the people who need to be saved. Aizawa need to be saved and the villains need to be hurted. But he couldn't use full power because that's not hero-like. That's what he was just told by what's-his-name. So yeah, he didn't use full power. He was like, nah, fuck being a hero. This shit sucks ass, bro. This shit sucks bull ass. As the only reason why Naruto was getting, well, not Naruto, but Deku was getting attacked is because they had to make it seem realistic. He was the only one who actually survived, or actually, the only one that didn't get caught in the portal other than Aizawa in 13. That means that they had at least have to hit him, and since he can just use the King of Hell to heal himself, it'll just be no problem. As Naruto just like, yeah, that shit sucks. I'm not trying to be a hero anyway. Yeah, this shit stuck. I'm just gonna leave it to the actual pros and just get information on other heroes and shit. As Naruto actually did gather a bunch of information. He gathered the information of, the cycle of, not really the cycle of One for All, but he pretty much gathered the information of how, that, Aizawa was supposed to get One for All first, But All Might came through and impressed Nana Shimura even more than Aizawa did. That means he got one for all. And that's kind of why they don't have a good relationship. They're not really good friends with him. So yeah, he kind of have information like that.